just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
Dot is presented by Benjamina Mia Casino. Licensed real estate professional since 2008. License number S01669991 LLC.
It is high noon right here in Las Vegas. I don't know where you're coming from, so it might be good morning, good evening, or good afternoon to you. My name is Dorothy Tome. You can call me Dot. And we're doing this with my partner, the president of the University of the Philippines Alumni Association of Nevada, Miss Mia Casino. Hello, Mia.
Hi everyone! Good afternoon from Las Vegas. Welcome to On the Dot.
Oh, mainit.
It's not so hot. It's not so hot compared
today.
to other days. Yeah, no?
Mm-hmm. Better
It's
today.
gloomy.
It rained last night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hindi pa tuloy ako magpa-car wash kasi uulan pa eh.
The rain will wash your car.
And now it's making it dirty even more.
Ganon.
Kasi white,
ganon.
diba? White yung kotse. So,
Ay, ganon.
Ganon.
Ganon. Okay, Mia. So, bakit si Mia? Bakit ito? Why are we doing this? This is a project of the UP Alumni Association of Nevada. And however, the things that we do here don't necessarily reflect the vision and mission of UPAA Nevada. Medyo may alignment, pero our opinions are ours, diba? Katulad din ang guests natin.
Yes.
Kaya sige, let's do the show today.
Yes, we have a very special topic today, something that most people don't realize and don't do. Not yet. Wait, I'll introduce you first.
Wait lang. Sige. I have to check something. I don't think I closed my garage door. Sorry.
No, it's alright.
Sige, you can go. You can do that.
I didn't introduce him pa eh.
But don't introduce
Don't introduce him muna daw kasi may
don't you have to
siya.
close the garage?
Sige.
Okay. Usap muna kami.
Pag-usapan muna natin yung himig natin, Mia.
Oo. So, we have a songwriting competition, which is a second year already, and it's on November 16 at the Celebrity Center. I was gonna say Craving Center. That's where I used to work in the Philippines. At the Celebrity Center. And it's open to all songwriters. If you have any unpublished original compositions, please send it to my email at miamcasino@gmail.com or through PHLV before October 15. Malapit na. Oh, hello!
Okay.
Malapit na ang himig in less than July, August, September. Less than 3 months.
Yes.
Or more 3 months.
Yes.
Thereabouts.
So, we have a lot of interest for to join. Send them in already before October 15 kasi we need the -1, we need the lyrics, and we need the whole song. Send it over to my email or through PHLV before October 15. The grand prize is, how much nga ang grand prize natin?
I don't know. Maybe a kiss from
$1,000, $1,000.
Sabi ko nga, a kiss from me.
Yes.
Kiss on the cheeks.
Nako, priceless yun. Priceless.
Sige.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
I think our guest is ready.
are
Usapan
you
natin
ready?
yung... We can talk more about himig after the break kasi interesting ito eh.
Oo. So our guest is a good friend of mine, and he was a guest of our Buhay Bahayan show with Francis Navarro, and he's a good friend. And now we're going to talk about something very special to him. He's in sales and he's in web design, Mr. Patrick Lim. Welcome to the show, Patrick.
Hi.
Napaka-anticlimactic naman ito. Ganda ng intro ko. Hi! Yeah, so our title is Limitless Limitless Takes, because overflowing ang kanyang gratefulness about everything. So, welcome, Patrick.
Hi. You want to ask me how to, did you have questions about it or just questions in general?
No,
I'm
like
just-
kanina, diba?
Yeah.
I asked you why gratitude yung topic.
I mean, gratitude for me is something that it's something it took a while for me to really learn it, and I think you learn gratitude the older you get, diba? Because when you're younger, you're so busy trying to make life work, and then sometimes it gets lost. And I think that the older you get, the more focused you become on what's important to you. And of course, you reflect, you look back, and of course, this is where the past becomes important. I think because then, but you're able to look back and say, oh, maybe I should have done that, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But the reality is that it's not about what you did or didn't do. I think it's how you look at the things in the past that make you who you are today, and how to be grateful for all those things, especially the negative things, right? Because, and I'm sure all of us know this, and it took me a while to figure it out, that a lot of times the negative things are the things that actually help us grow, right? The biggest life changes we ever have are the ones that are the most difficult life changes, the hardest decisions we have to make, the most uncomfortable decisions we have to make. And then, of course, your first instinct, because it's a negative emotion or a negative decision or a negative feeling, your first instinct is to be ungrateful for that feeling and to ask the Lord, if you're religious, ask the Lord, why did you do this to me? Why did this happen to me? And I try to, and it's still hard to do, but I try to always say thank you for that. I thank I'm religious, so I thank the Lord for that. I thank Him for all the things that He puts in front of me, whether they're negative or positive, because I think that He puts those there so that we eventually will have to walk through them and become the people that we are supposed to become. And whether that's a bad person or a worse person at that moment in your life, it's what He wants you to do. Or whether it's you become a better person, it's probably because He wants you to become a better person at that point in your life. But the whole point is being able to look down that road and know that there's an end goal, and that end goal is who you're supposed to be. And a lot of times you don't know who that is. I'm 50 years old. I don't know who I'm supposed to be at the end of the day. And you figure that out maybe when you meet your wife, when you meet your significant other, but a lot of times it's just going through the motions of growing as a person, and that growing is only I think positive when you're able to look at the negative things in your life that have happened and look at them with gratitude. So for me, that's usually how I start my discussions about gratitude with friends, and who are especially complaining. And I'm guilty of it too. I mean, I complain all the every now and then, and I joke around with my younger brother, and we talk about, oh, why this, why that, but at the same time, it's also we laugh about, well, because of that we're here, right? So
There you go. That's a great intro.
Yeah.
Tapos na.
Like yung kahit
No, I never saw you, Patrick, as religious. Were you always religious, or was there a turning point in your life that you became religious?
No, I was raised Roman Catholic. I was raised in Manila, so I'm Roman Catholic. Yeah, I stopped for a while. I'm half Thai, so my mom, like, I've always wanted to go to temple. So, like, I'm actually technically I'm not religious. I'd like to think I'm more spiritual than anything.
Ah, yes.
You know,
That's
so
good.
yeah, and as long as you believe there's a higher power, I think that's
Right.
important because it humbles you, right? You know, whether you think it's aliens or the Lord or whatever your belief is, diba? So
I love it.
Yeah.
Maganda.
Mhm.
So you said earlier, Patrick, na mga negative things, negative emotions. I have before me a range of emotional scales. Emotional scale, a range of emotions. So the bottom, at the very bottom, there are 22 emotions identified by coaches. See, I'm a certified life coach. So maganda itong topic kasi this is my favorite, one of my favorites. So ito yon, at the bottom, ang the same ang kanilang intensity, or let's say the frequency: fear, grief, depression, despair, and powerlessness.
mhm.
So at some point in your life, did you experience any of those?
Well, yeah, all of them. I mean,
All of them.
yeah, I think
Tapos,
we all experience all of. It's impossible. It's impossible to be a grown adult and not to have experienced every single thing you just talked about. Right?
Tapos at the top, the highest or the most, let's say, positive emotions are joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. So nandito yung gratitude mo. It is in alignment with appreciation. Appreciation daw is you really like something, or you see the value of something, even if it has nothing to do with you. You did not receive anything from it. Gratitude is usually something happened to you, or you received something. Usually, yan ang differences between appreciation and gratitude. Appreciation is like you look at the sunset. Ooh,
Or
that's
flowers.
pretty. Oh, the flower.
Flowers.
Wala namang ginawa si flower sa'yo. Gratitude is, thank you, Lord, that I am still alive, I am healthy. Oh, may gift, something like that. So, between yung pinaka-bottom, yung powerlessness, and power or empowerment, between despair and freedom, for example, there are 20 other emotions. Ang dami. So, I like what you said kanina, na regardless of the negative emotions or events, you're still very grateful. Ito sila, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. Did you have that feeling, Mia? Unworthiness minsan? I did.
Of course, yeah. Oo.
Yeah, no?
Lalo na when you were growing up, diba? You're unsure of your emotions. You're not sure if you're worthy of things. I think that's very...
Yeah. Tapos ito pa, jealousy, hatred, rage, paano na, pataas. It's going up. Why? They say that even if you jump from, or if you raise your emotion just a little bit from fear to insecurity, that's also, you're already going positive kasi paakyat ka. Tapos, from hatred and rage, going to revenge, going to anger. Kasi ngayon, you can express, hindi mo siya kinikimkim.
Yeah.
Discouragement, blame, paakyat na siya. Worry, doubt, disappointment, being overwhelmed, frustration, irritation, impatience, pessimism, boredom. Pagdating ng boredom, may shift na siya. Contentment, hopefulness, optimism, positive expectation, belief, enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness, passion. And then, joy, and love.
Mhm.
Oh, which of those emotions ang nag-dominate sa iyo, Patrick?
There's so many of them. I
Yeah.
was focusing on gratitude and appreciation because you know how you said gratitude is an emotion you feel when you receive something, and that's your response is gratitude. Appreciation is when you don't receive anything, but you are appreciating something, like the sunset, for example, like you mentioned. You know, you could take that to another level by saying appreciation can also be seen as an advanced form of gratitude, where
Yes.
you become very grateful for something you did not receive, and it turns
Yes.
into appreciation. Right?
Yes.
So, and vice versa, I think. I mean, I think you can also go the opposite direction, but it's better to go in that direction, I think. It's the hardest things to really, really have gratitude for are the worst things that happen to your life. Like the death of your dog, on a really big end of the spectrum, or a death of a family member, or something really really traumatic that happens to you, and then you have like the opposite end of the spectrum too, where you have like, oh, I just won the lottery, or I just got married, or I just gave birth, my wife just gave birth to my kids or whatever. So finding a middle ground is probably one of the more important things, I think, that any of us can learn. And it's really hard to do that because we're usually drawn as humans, right? We're drawn to extremes. We're drawn to what makes us extremely happy, and we're drawn to what makes us extremely sad. And we have such a hard time finding that middle ground. Like where can I stay that I am comfortable so that I can appreciate both sides of the spectrum? And when you're in that middle ground, that's when I think gratitude, that's when you open the door to gratitude. Because you're able to compare both ends of the spectrum that are the negative and the positive, the extreme negative, the extreme positive, and put together what you've appreciated, grateful for, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're just in that middle emotional state, and emotional balance, right? So, and it's hard. You go through life like as a teenager, and obviously your emotions are all the way on one side, and then maybe you grow up and you're like, oh, responsibilities, and then poof, your emotions go to the other side, and it's really so hard to stay in that middle ground. It's almost like being a professional athlete, right? Like, when you're training, if you drop out of training, being an athlete, whether it's soccer, whether it's volleyball, whatever sport you're in, when you try to get back into that sport and from injury, for example, you're having a hard time being who you are and showcasing your skills on the field, or maybe depending on what your sport is, because you're still trying to put the pieces back together. You're trying to make your legs stronger. You're trying to make your lower back more conditioned. You're trying to condition your body, right? And you're so busy trying to condition your body, you have no time to actually look at the positives of your training, right? It's the same thing with your emotions, right? You have to retrain your emotions, especially after something so traumatic, So anyway, that's my two.
Yes. Yeah. So you said earlier na when you're younger, you tend to be on the negative side of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're older, you tend to appreciate more.
Mm-hmm.
At what point in your life did you start practicing gratitude, Patrick?
Oh, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I mean, definitely older, right? Definitely older, for sure. But, I misspoke. So it's not when you're younger, it's negative. When you're older, it's positive. You go through all of them, right? But it's just that the negative, I think, when you're very, very young, super innocent, you're extremely happy. Everything's great. Oh my God, ice cream fell on my head. Fantastic. Like you don't care, right? Your parents are taking care of everything. You don't have to worry about, social situations. And then you get a little bit older, you learn that, your parents, there's a no and there's a yes. Then you learn what negative emotions start to become, right? And then I think you go through another phase of you become a teenager, right? And then of course there's all that negative emotion where you're wrestling with your hormones and all. So it's pataas pababa, diba? Your emotions. And really, like I said, like some people, there are some people I meet, that are mid-20s and you can tell like it's almost impressive at how emotionally stable they are. It really impresses me when I meet a person like that. I'm like, wow, this person's really put together. Like I wasn't like that in my 20s, like galeng. And then you have people that are super, super old, like much older than even 10 years older than me, that are 60 or 58 or whatever. And you can tell they're still wrestling with trying to find themselves or trying to find happiness. And I feel for people like that because I think that the sooner you realize how to bring gratitude into your life, the happier the rest of your life will be. That's probably the statement I want to share with everyone, is that the sooner you're able to figure out how to bring gratitude into your life and open that door to gratitude, the happier the rest of your life is going to be. You figure out at 20, good for you, because the rest of your 60 years is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I figured out for myself. I figured out that I'm going to take the gratitude path in 2015.
Yeah.
So I can pinpoint the year that something shifted in me, and I decided, I'm going to do this practice every day. Ikaw, Mia, do you have a gratitude practice?
I'm thankful for everything, and I realize the more grateful you are, the more blessings come in.
How do you practice gratitude? How do you show it?
I think it's more like what you said earlier. I appreciate things.
Like
Sometimes,
verbally, like
verbalize,
yes,
especially if I'm very grateful, I say thank you. I'm not
yes.
selfish when I'm grateful. I really thank the person, and every time you're grateful for something, I realize that blessings come in also.
Oh
when you're
yes,
thankful.
for sure, for sure. So you, Patrick, what's your practice of gratitude?
Practice of gratitude, I mean,
Like you said earlier, as soon as you wake up in the morning,
yeah, I think
that's
I have a
how you do
conversation.
it.
I have a conversation with God. Like I don't just pray. I don't like to say I pray to God. I have a conversation with Him. I sit down. I get on my knees actually, and I pray and I say my Our Father, and I start having literally a conversation with Him, like He's there, and I talk to Him and I thank Him, and and sometimes your mind, the first thing you want to do, especially with the Lord, you want to ask for things, diba? Lord, please this, please bless me, please this, please that, please that. But I try to stop my thought, and sometimes I'll ask first and I'll apologize to Him and say, sorry. What I meant to say was, I'm grateful. Diba? Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, and actually to answer your question from earlier, you asked me, Patrick, when did you start practicing gratitude? And then I answered you, I don't know. Okay, the reality is I don't know the exact day, but I want to say this year, like probably February, yeah, something like that, where I was really aware of it.
Yes.
All of us can say, "Oh, I'm grateful." Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. I have integrity. Oh, yeah. I'm a kind person. But are you really a kind person? Are you really practicing kindness?
Yes.
Most people, you ask them, well, how are you practicing it? Like, what have you done?
Yes.
They'll think for 5 minutes because they really haven't done anything, right?
Yes.
Or maybe
Yes.
they have, but they don't even know they've done it because they're just
Yes.
so busy looking at the other stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yun nga eh, kasi we can be all words, we can be all talk without walking our talk. So it's for me, it's it's important that we walk our talk,
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
I just like to use the word practice because sometimes we fail, sometimes we forget, sometimes we stumble.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so some
You know
people
what?
use gratitude journal. Yes, go ahead,
Yeah.
Patrick.
No. Finish what you were saying. Yeah, the journal, absolutely. Yeah, that's actually something I probably should do. I journal my workouts, so why not journal my emotions, right? Because you're also working out your heart. You're working out your mind. You're not just working out your body, right? So why not journal
Exactly.
what your mind is going through?
I
So that's a
love
good
it.
way of looking at it.
I love it.
I
Mhm.
think that I wanted to just add that I think a great byproduct of being grateful, and this is for anybody who watches this and wonders, well, okay, I can be grateful. What else am I going to get out of it? I mean, you shouldn't be actually looking at
Yeah.
that, but if you really had to, I think a great byproduct of gratitude is humility.
Is
It's
what?
humility.
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 Yes.
Automatically you become a humble. Your thought of great. You may not become a humble person right away or a grateful person right that instant, but at that moment that you recognize that you're grateful for something, whether it's something somebody gave you, whether it's something that you have received emotionally, not materially, or whether it's something negative that happened, the moment you realize that, at that instant you are humble. I think
Hmm.
you automatically rise to the level of humility because you're
Hmm.
able to actually kind of break down all those walls that we all put around our hearts and we all put around our heads because we want to protect ourselves from pain and suffering, right? So the moment you have that gratitude, it really opens everything up, I
Oh,
think.
so true.
Mhm.
Diba? Perfect. So, we are going to take a break.
Okay.
Ganyan kabilis ang
Oh, already?
Oh, that was
Wow.
fast.
ating oras.
Yeah.
It's now, 30 minutes after we started. So before we take the break, name just one thing you're very grateful for, and then we take a break. Mia, go ahead.
My children.
Yes. Patrick, what one thing you are very grateful for? You're gonna pick up your doggy. Yes.
Oh,
What is
what's
your
her
dog's name?
name?
Baby. Safi.
Saki?
Safi.
Oh, Safi.
Mhm.
Girl?
Yeah, girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anong
you're
breed? What
grateful.
breed?
She's
What breed?
Hmm?
What breed?
She's a Chiweenie, so she's half Chihuahua, half long-haired Chihuahua, and then half long-haired Dachshund.
Oh, how about you, Dot? What are you grateful for?
I'm very grateful for technology right now because we technology is connecting us with each other and with the
That's
rest
something
of the
to be grateful
world.
for. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take a break. Don't go away. Stay with
Okay.
us.
Okay.
On the Dot is presented by Benjamina Mia Casino. Licensed real estate professional since 2008. License number S01669991 LLC.
welcome back to On the Dot with Dot and Mia. I'm Dot, and Mia is right here with me, and we have our special guest, Patrick Lim. And with him, we are talking limitless thankfulness because limitless tayo. Mr. Lim. And before I turn over to Mia, if she has any announcements, Mia, mag-shout out ka sa mga events mo. I want to say I'm grateful for Adele Ordinario. She's always listening to PHLV.
Hi,
Radio.
Adele.
Hello, Adele. Hi.
Thank you
for being
tuning
here.
in. Yes,
Okay, Mia,
always,
shout out
always.
tayo. Ano pang mga ads mo, the events you're doing in the community, Mia?
Yes, I'm thankful. I'm thankful also for the talents that God has given us. With that, we're able to showcase and share with the community. And one of the talents is dancing, which I am part of. And our Nahula group, Nahula Aliyah Aloha Cultural Preservation, is having a free show this Saturday from 2 to 5 at the Clark County Library on Flamingo. Neighbor natin siya, Flamingo and Maryland Parkway. So if you don't have anything to do this Saturday, come join us, watch our hula group perform at the Flamingo Library. And Himig also, our Yupaan has 2 events. One is the Himig Songwriting Competition on November 16. As I mentioned earlier, if you have an original and unpublished composition, send it over before October 15 to my email, miamcasino@gmail.com. The actual competition is on November 16th at 2 p.m. And we also are celebrating our 25th anniversary with a gala at the Suncoast Casino for how much na ba? 80, no? 8 na wala pa. Hindi pa
Gawin natin 100.
So yes, it's our 25th anniversary gala for you pa.
Yes.
So everyone
25,
is
ano yan, silver years in the Silver State. Hey, Patrick, do you have any community group that you would like to greet or, mention? Do you have any events in the community?
I mean, here in Vegas, but yeah, it's just, I'm part of like Sin City Broncos, which is like my off-roading group. And then Southern Nevada Off-Road Recovery. We actually rescue people in the desert.
Pardon me, what's the name of that?
Southern Nevada SNOR. It's called SNORR. It's Southern Nevada Off-Road Recovery. And it's
Off-Road Recovery.
it's a non-profit group. It's free. It's not like
That's
triple.
nice. Yeah,
If you're
diba?
stuck
Mga
in-
dehydrated
Yeah.
na sa desert.
If you're stuck in the desert. Remember, actually a good thing too, just for all the viewers that are actually anywhere you are in the world. Always go to this website if you're stuck in the middle of nowhere and you need to give first responders your location.
Oh,
Type in this domain name into your browser. It's called What 3 Words. What, and then the number 3, and then words.
what is it?
What's cool about it is there's this company in the UK, and what they did is they geo-mapped the entire planet.
Oh, wow.
So wherever you are on Earth, you don't need a GPS tag or some high-tech device. All you have to do is go to this website, what3words.com. Automatically, based on your phone or based on where you are or whatever you're using to get on that website, it'll geolocate you with 3 words.
What
And
three words?
it will tell first responders where you are within a certain area based on those 3 words.
Oh, that's nice.
Ang galing.
Really galing. It's amazing. I wish it was something that you could tell every human being on this planet, because there are people that go hiking and they don't have water, or people that are out there and
Right.
they're not prepared, or they're on their boat in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can be in Italy, in some remote area. you break in.
Or if you're kidnapped, you can do that too.
If you're kidnapped, you could do that too.
Yeah.
So what three words?
What
It'll
3
tell you.
words?
It'll
Yeah.
tell you.
What 3 words? Yeah,
What
if
3 words?
if Kuya Yo can flash it on the screen, then that would be most
Yeah.
helpful. What?
What the number 3 and then words.com.
Yes, I looked it up, and
Uh-huh.
I'm seeing it in my phone.
Super,
Yeah,
super
what
useful.
3 words? That's very efficient. Alam mo ang ano mo, ang card mo, Patrick,
Hmm.
for what you're doing. Ito yung card mo. Kuya Yo, are you ready to flash the card?
You picked
It
number 8
says,
kanina, diba?
uh,
Yeah, hey.
your
that's the
card is service. Service. Wala pa, wala pa. It's not showing up yet, but I will show it from here.
Oh,
Ayan. It says, I will read it to you. I feel good when I can help others.
yeah, that's me.
Diba? Can you see
Yeah.
that?
100%.
Can you see that right now
I can see
on
it.
your
I can see
screen?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Hmm. Galing.
Ang galing. So that I'm very grateful for what 3 words that you mentioned right now.
Yep, it's really good. It can save somebody's life. You know, like, and a lot of people don't know about it. You know, because sometimes people are like stuck somewhere, for example, and they're like, "Oh my God, how am I going to let people know where I am?" All you got to do is go to that website, get the 3 words, send it to a first responder. Tapos, they'll figure out where you are. You know,
Ang
so,
galing. Grabe, no? And
Very
and you are
helpful.
serving your community. Grabe.
you are grateful, and you are grateful for technology. That's another thing to be grateful for.
Yeah.
that somebody in the United Kingdom figured that out and thought, you know what, let's make it simpler for first responders to find people in trouble. Fantastic, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Very good.
Good.
Ano pa yun? Walang middleman like 911. Diba? You just put it in and then they
Yeah.
geolocate you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because sometimes you don't have time. You don't have
Yeah,
time
right.
to do all that stuff, right? As long as you have a signal, as long as you can get to something, that's the best way to do it. You know, it's galing.
Right.
It was like
Yeah.
super. It's like, why didn't I think of that? That was
But so, as soon as you, for example, you're stranded in the desert and you type what 3 words, then what do you do?
well. I mean, you have to be able. The whole point of what 3 words, though, it's not to call anybody. It's to let people know
Locate.
where you are.
Yeah.
Because there's no point in calling for help if you can't tell them where you are located. They're not going to find you in the middle of the desert or in the middle of the ocean or in the middle of the forest. It doesn't matter where you are, right? You want to. You need to give them your location. That is the most
I
important
see.
thing. So that's what that service is for. How you get in touch with first responders, that's up to you.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
It's just to pinpoint where you
Where
are
you
in the
are.
globe.
Correct. Personally, I recommend everybody get their own little radio, honestly, because there are repeaters all over Las Vegas. Repeaters are basically in the radio world. Repeaters are on top of mountaintops here all over the Nevada. And the whole point of a repeater, it's designed to amplify your signal. So if I'm here on the south side of Vegas, I don't have line of sight to somebody, let's say Mia, who's on the other side of Vegas. Maybe the buildings on the strip are blocking my radio, so we cannot talk, right? But if there's a repeater, which there is, on top of some mountain, you can hit that repeater with the radio, and that repeater will amplify the signal and send it back out. So your cell phone, more than likely, a lot of time, I want to say, depending on where you are in the desert, if it doesn't work, well, what 3 words is not really going to work for you.
Right, right.
Or even if what 3 words works, if you can't talk to the first responder, there's no point, right? So you get the radio, and based on that radio, that's why I always tell people, even my friends that don't go off-roading, like, buy a cheap radio on Amazon. It's like $20. It's not expensive. Keep it in your glove box. But you have to program it, right, properly. But when you program it, you're connected to a repeater. If anything happens, you open your glove box, take the radio out, maybe walk to the top of a hill, and then you can call for help.
That's very good for mga hikers.
Yeah.
Diba? Kasi you
Yes,
get
yes.
lost in the...
And radios are really small now. If you're hiking, you can carry it on your side and stuff like that. But iPhones now, diba? The new iPhones have the GPS function, right?
Yep.
So
Right,
you can
Send
call,
your
you
location.
can actually send your location and stuff like that.
Correct. Yeah. You mentioned another group earlier, Snores.
No, Snore is the group I'm talking about. So Snore,
yeah.
Southern Nevada
Rescue.
Recovery. Before that, I was mentioning Sin City Broncos. And Sin City Bronco is basically, because I own a Bronco, Ford Bronco. So that's like the Bronco group. Well, it's an off-roading group. So we all go off-roading here in Vegas. And I'm part of like other groups. So Vegas, Toyota Off-Road, VTO, Off-Road. A lot of Pinoys in that group, actually. Mostly Toyotas. Toyota Land Cruiser, Toyota Tundra, Toyota 4Runner, all that stuff, you know. And then there's also SNOT, SNOT, which is Southern Nevada Off-Road Training. So that's another part of yeah.
That's a funny name.
It's good branding. No, it's great branding. Yeah, it's great branding. You know, so
I thought yung snore mo kanina SNORE. Parang sleeping group.
Yeah, but these are great. These groups are great, huh? Like I highly recommend it. Like even if you don't like have your own off-road vehicle, it's nice to like just be a part of the group and go out there and get out there. And you know, like Vegas, I think has so much more to offer than just come to Vegas, party, go to the strip. That's what everybody thinks of Vegas, right? But you know, there's so much more in Las Vegas than just that. You know, like actually, Leah's other partner from the other show, Francis, I took him off-roading, right? So you know, and I showed him a different trail that he's never been on. You know, and it's nice when people experience that. They're like, wow, this is in Vegas. Like they get gula. You know, they're like, what? You know, like, oh, okay, you know, it's the desert, but if you take them to the nice, a nice place in the desert, they're able to actually really enjoy. You know, like there's a place I take
appreciate.
Like one of my really
exactly.
friends recently was here, Jambi David. He's one of the owners of Goldilocks, and he was here. He's a very good friend of mine. He was here recently with his family, his daughter, and I took him on that trail in my Bronco. So him, his daughter, and then my other friend's daughter was also visiting from the East Coast. So I took them there, and they were just like, wow. Because, you know, where I took them to, it's called the Outlook. And then you can stay there, and you can put chairs, and you can see the entire Vegas Strip. And you're in the middle of the desert.
Where is this? Where is the Outlook?
It's on Cottonwood Trail. You need an off-road vehicle. You can't go there in a Toyota. Like, you need like a truck. Yeah. Yeah.
So what you were just saying, describing for the past few minutes, Patrick, is really in alignment with our title, LIMitless. Kasi it sounds like if I'm a visitor to Vegas, I would say, uy, napaka-limitless pala ng mga things to do sa
there are a lot
in our city. And the desert, the first time I saw it, the very first time I set foot here sa desierto, I said, this is limitless. Like as far as the eye can see, there's peace and quiet and nothing. And nothingness is like limitless. So perfect.
Especially pag pink yung skies. It's so beautiful.
Oh yeah. So we are so appreciative and grateful for where we are right now.
Yeah. And when I first moved to Vegas, I was like, oh, Vegas. I'm coming from California. So you move here from California. I mean, and I'm a cyclist. I'm always doing outdoor stuff. I used to go mountain biking a lot, and it's difficult to do that every single day in the summer because it's so hot. Right? So you have to make sacrifices and wake up early in the morning, mga 4 or 5 in the morning, if you really want to go cycling and not melt and, you know, become like, where'd Patrick go? Wala na, natunaw. You know, like,
I'm melting.
Yeah. You know, so you really wanna, you know, make sure you kind of like go on both ends of the spectrum in terms of times, either before the sun comes up or after the sun comes down. But I've grown to really, in the past year, in the beginning January, February, when I started being grateful, you know, it came hand in hand with me stopping, you know, going out drinking. I used to smoke occasionally, and, you know, quitting all that stuff is fantastic. And, you know, just having a really healthy lifestyle and everything. You know, it's not for everybody. I believe young people very young people. You don't have to go through it, but I think it's good to experience it. So at least you know what it's like, you know, at one point in time in your life, you know. And it can contribute to you being more grateful about being able to realize that's the path you don't want to go down, or these are things you don't want to do, or you'd rather, I don't know, go to the gym every day or whatever you want to do, right? That you think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kasi, alam mo, ano daw, your opening statement kanina, or, your opening speech, your welcome remarks kanina, is to be grateful for even the negative things in life. And the negative things are not something that we need to release right away, or let them go, the negative thoughts. They are our catalysts. They are the opposites. They are the contrasts that lead us to what we really want and what we really appreciate. So sinabi mo na, sometimes the hardest things in life, like a breakup of a marriage. Like for me, my first marriage dissolved, and my first husband died, and I continued a relationship with my sister-in-law. She's
you broke up, Dot.
I think you got cut.
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with the connection of Dot.
I think so.
Or naging picture na siya.
Gross.
Dot! Earth calling Dot!
I don't know what's happening. So anyway, am I back?
Yes, you are. Yes, we can
Okay.
hear you.
So even with the dissolution of that marriage, akala mo tapos na, no? Pero it strengthened my relationship with my sister-in-law, and now she is my gratitude partner. Every day we text each other and we exchange something that we're grateful for without repeating whatever it is that we're grateful for.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
So if you're grateful with coffee kahapon, don't ever write coffee again, because there's
Again.
limitless number of things that you can be grateful for. Diba?
Yes.
Kung tapos na yung flower, you mentioned flower kanina, 30
Iba
minutes
naman.
ago, iba naman. Kasi
That's
madami. Limitless nga.
It's a good practice.
Yeah. So, we're almost 10 minutes to our closing time. And it's about time for our quote. Ito, si Mia in charge.
Yes, our quote is from Norman Vincent Peale. The more you practice the art of thankfulness, the more you have to be thankful.
Correct. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's nice. Like I said, like I think that the moment, like remember I mentioned earlier, like the moment you are grateful just for one thing, it doesn't mean you're a grateful person right at that moment.
Right.
You automatically graduate into being a humble person. Like that's a humble moment in your life, right? And you build on that, and you constantly try to find more moments. And by finding more moments, eventually you become what you search for. You become what you desire.
Right.
So, yeah.
Perfect. I love what you said.
Intention. It's all intention, right? Like
Exactly.
you have to start with intention. You have to start with, remember, like, what's that famous saying? This is the two of my favorite quotes are, it's not bad to dream, because why not dream, because dreaming is free, right? However, if you a plan, a dream without a plan is just a wish, right? So it's always good to have a plan. Think of how you want to be a better person, how you want to be grateful. And it sounds to some people, and to me, even to me before, like, I mean, I'll admit it, like, it sounded cheesy, like, why would I write stuff down? Why would I have to think of what I want to do today, or what direction I want to take? But the reality is that you're just basically conditioning your emotions to prepare yourself for all the good things that are going to come. Because if you're too busy trying to justify and trying to rationalize all the things that come into your life, you won't be able to really see the great things. It's like a cloud. It's like cloud cover. I like to think of it as you can feel like, oh, I'm up here, and then you're looking down on everything. But if you don't have that gratitude, it's like there's a cloud that blocks your view, right? So, yep. If there's one last thing I'll share and this is a quote that I recently started a company that manufactures. It's not a huge company, but I recently started a company, and I'll send you guys the logo and everything and all that stuff. It's called Trailworks, and we basically are manufacturing and fabricating custom parts for the Ford Bronco and off-road vehicles and stuff like that. But the logo that I have, because I had a thermos printed, and on one side you can print on the Yeti website, yeti.com, the little coolers.
Right, yeah.
So on one side,
bottles.
they let you put your logo, and then on the back you can put whatever you want, right? So on the front I put our company logo, and then on the back I put "Be better than your excuses." Because I think
that's
super important, especially not just when you're starting a company, but when you're waking up and you don't want to go to the gym because that's an excuse, right? So be better than that. Be better than why you don't want to do it, and become a better person, right? And I think that eventually you put those little building blocks together, you'll become the person that you are meant to be, right?
Ay, grabe. Bongga. Bonggang bongga. Mia, I would like to
Yes.
thank you, Mia, for bringing Patrick here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for having me.
Napaka-enriching ng ating
Yes.
conversation. It is in keeping with the Filipino American Media Association of Nevada's motto. Amplifying the Filipino voice. Fil-Am
Yeah.
amplifying the Filipino voice, and this is what we're doing. We're amplifying the Filipino story. And thank you so much, Patrick, for
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you for having me. You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
being part of us.
Yep.
Yeah. Mia, do you have any?
Hindi, I was gonna say, when you're grateful, it's such a good feeling, no? And
It
when
is.
you
It
receive,
is.
someone being grateful to you also, it's win-win palagi.
One
Is
of the nicest compliments I think any person can receive is when somebody comes up to you and says, "Thank you for being you," because they're not thanking you for something you've performed, material you've given them. They're thanking you for who you are, and they're grateful. They're basically telling you that they're grateful for who you are without having to say it. Right?
yes.
And it's a nice compliment to get something like that from another person without asking for it, without, and it's happened to
Exactly.
me very few times, but when it does happen and you hear something like that, you're like, wow, that's one of the nicest things you can hear, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you for being you,
yeah.
and thank you for being here.
Thank you, everybody.
I appreciate you, Patrick. I appreciate you, Mia.
I appreciate
Yes.
both of you. I appreciate everything.
Appreciate our listeners, Adele, for
Yes.
example, and she greeted DJ Lance and Robert Buan, and Kuya Yo. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
for
this
your
platform. And so, with that, we say our goodbyes, and we will see you again next week. Patrick, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Mia,
everybody.
Thank you.
bye everyone.
See you next week.
On the Dot is presented by Benjamina Mia Casino. Licensed real estate professional since 2008. License number S01669991 LLC.